It strikes me that I've had two silos of content here on this channel, playing Elite Dangerous and then living with intent. And now I think I'm going to be mashing the two up because it feels like Elite is teaching me a bit about the opposite of living with intent right at the moment, living on impulse. Right at the moment, I'm experiencing this urge to drop some more real money to get early access to the latest new hotness, the Gutamaya Corsair. Elite Dangerous's sleek new starship drops for paid early access sometime in April, and boy would I love to get my hands on it as quickly as possible. Paying up for enough of the game's premium currency to get my hands on the ship is not going to be any appreciable hit to my fun money account, but I also have plenty of in-game cash to buy the ship and outfit it once it actually releases to the general public. So what could giving in to the urge really cost me? Hello and welcome. My name is Rob Farker. I'm a 40-something lover of sleek futures and cool machines who is bringing his passion and perspective to YouTube to talk about life, the universe and everything, and maybe how to do all of the above with a little bit more intent. As always, a quick note at the top of this episode. I would very much appreciate it if you could give this episode a like if you've enjoyed it, if you could subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and also type out a polite, enthusiastic and constructive comment in the comments section down below about what we've talked about today. Doing so not only lets YouTube know that this channel is worth putting on people's home screens and queuing up in their up next selections after they've watched something, but also it lets me know that you're out there enjoying what I'm doing and keeps a bit of the conversation about what I'm talking about going, which is always fantastic. I was thinking originally of using Elite Dangerous to practice my business skills. There is this gig economy freelance vibe about playing as a starship captain in the game, but I feel of late that more and more it's been more of a lesson in intentional living generally. I've already bought myself a Cobra Mark V as part of the early access release. I even paid for enough ARX, the game's premium currency, to get my hands on the Stellar Edition, the one that came with all of the ship kits and the nice paint job, but also all of the Grade A components for it. That said, I have reset the game since, even though I didn't lose the Cobra Mark V Stellar as a result, but it blew all of my currency away, and 3 major in-game community events have allowed me to earn a heap of credits, more than I know what to do with almost. With that money, I finally bought myself a Python. Remember how in the early days of this channel I was talking about the pursue a Python goal for playing Elite Dangerous? Well, I hit it. And even though I did last time before the reset, well, I'm hanging on to this one and I don't intend doing another reset anytime soon. So cash is no longer a big concern for me. It's more like, what do I do next in this game? And right at the point of this uncertainty, Frontier Developments, the writers of this game, announced that they were going to be releasing in April their next early access starship, the Gutamaya Corsair. So what is the appeal of both the Corsair in and of itself and paying some cash to get early access to it before everybody else does? Well, let's start with the looks. I mean, just look at the thing. Like I said at the top of the episode, I am a big fan of sleek futures and cool machines, and damned if this doesn't hit at both. It looks like a cross between a hot rod and a bird of prey. It could drag you off at the standing quarter mile and peck your eyeballs out while doing it. Standing quarter mile, maybe I could call the thing Grease Lightning. No, Rob, no Grease references, Steely Dan references for ship names only. Stay on focus, Rob, stay on focus. Anyway, let's talk next about the capabilities of this little number. As I understand it, it's going to be the only medium-sized vessel capable of mounting Class 7 thrusters. These thrusters are typically only reserved for large ships like the Anaconda and the Imperial Corvette. These are going to make it bloody maneuverable, and on top of that, as one of the newer vessels, it's going to be capable of handling supercruise overcharge, the nitrous for intra-system travel, without any of the huge bucking bronco and fuel burn issues that all of the older ships before the most recent generation of ships that started launching in 2024 all have. On top of all that, it is a medium multi-role vessel, which is what got me hooked. I love multi-role designs. I have been told on a few occasions that Elite Dangerous can be a little bit punishing unless you niche down in your ship selection and customization for purpose, but I've always loved the variety of being able to do a few things in one mission and having that spice of potential combat where at least you have a decent chance of being able to fight or run, even if you're doing a cargo run, a passenger run, a courier mission, anything that doesn't necessarily immediately front-line combat. It makes the experience a little less monotonous. In terms of actually getting early access to it, there is the Stellar package, which gives me all of the ship kits, the fairings, the spoilers, all those neat little things that don't have any direct impact on ship performance, but just allows me to make it look a little bit more cooler the way I'd like it to look. It also comes with a selection of A-grade components, so I don't have to go tooling around nearby systems to try and find star systems that sell them, and ideally Li Yong Rui owned systems where I can get them for 15% off. And there is also that zero rebuy. Finally, there is not having to wait until it actually launches. Generally, these early access ships pass into public access at various starports around the galaxy roughly 3 months after they become initially available for early access. And there's that bit of me that just wouldn't mind getting my hands on it as soon as possible. That Golem-esque urge of, we want it, precious. That wasn't really a good Golem voice, and no, I'm not going to try and do a better Andy Serkis style. You get the idea. Well, why should I hold off? At the moment, as you can see here, I have just under 500 million in-game credits to my name after those community challenges that I mentioned earlier. And this balance is after I dropped about 80 million on a brand new Python and getting its core internal components mostly outfitted to A-grade status. So at a guess, I would say that the Gutamaya Corsair might run after an A-grade outfit more like 120, maybe 150 million, and I can soak that. There is probably going to be another community goal or two in the meantime, and even if not, there's enough stuff I can be doing within the game to be boosting my credit balance anyway. And another thing to note is one of the reasons, as I understand it, why Frontier Developments release these ships in early access is so that players can test them out. They can get a bit more data on usage and do a few more refinements to them before they put them out for general consumption. There was one ship, the Type 8, which I do own now. That one I didn't buy as an early access pre-built ship kit. I just bought it at a starport after it came out for general access and did some outfitting for it. But it did drop about 3 weeks after that general 3 months that other ships dropped from early access to public consumption after. So then, how can I resist this impulse, assuming I even want to, with a little bit more intent? Well, I have a few thoughts there. For starters, there's what else I could be spending those arcs, should I buy some, on. I think I'd like to get my mitts on a couple more alternative voiceovers for the in-cockpit AI assistant. The default ones are getting a little bit on the dull side. Then, of course, I can use that cash to get a few more alternate ship kits and paint jobs for my existing vessels, and once the Corsair becomes generally available, I can use it just to get the ones that I want, assuming that they aren't available within a package, instead of available for individual purchase. There are the unknowns about the Corsair itself as a ship. I have bought a couple of ships recently, specifically the Imperial Eagle and the Core Dynamics Vulture, both of which have had sublight engine noises that I found kind of unpleasant. The Imperial Eagle has this odd swarm of wasps noise that pops up when you throttle up and throttle down that sort of makes you go, ugh. And the Vulture has this flat drone that again just sort of sets my teeth on edge a bit. Maybe the Corsair, after I spend real money on getting my mitts on it, I might find that the pure aesthetics of it, as gorgeous as it looks, the sound might make me go, oh, maybe I don't want to use this thing after all. And, well, there's the question of, will it have a centerline pilot seat? It's one of the things that I love about the Cobra Mark V and vessels like the Sidewinder and both the regular Eagle and the Imperial variant of it. And I'm hoping to heck, from the looks of the Gutamaya Corsair, it will have a centerline one. And sitting on the left or the right, as the case may be, might just be enough again to put me off using it. I did mention I splurged on a Mark I Python recently, and yeah, it also has me feeling a bit, here I am sitting on the left-hand side again, like I did in my Cobra Mark III, which was again nice enough as a vessel, but I was itching for that centerline siege experience. It was one of the reasons that I dropped my cash on the Cobra Mark V. Then again, between now and April, we might get a little bit more information about the Corsair, and that will help me make a more informed decision on it. And then there are perhaps the deeper questions about my current in-game situation. Like I said, I at the moment have a little under 500 million credits, which takes a lot of pressures off. I don't have to worry too much about rebuy anyway. I think if my Type 8 gets blown up, it's 2, maybe 3 million credits in rebuy, and really I don't have many worries on that front. I might have to be a little bit more careful with trades and make sure that I am running a profit, and perhaps that's where being a bit more mindful of my cash flow from a business front will come in. I'm still trying to work out what to do with that Python that I just bought. What are my options? What do I want to focus it on, if anything? What would make it a more appealing option instead of going, just sticking with my Cobra Mark V for more general stuff and the Type 8 for more cargo hauling, specifically focused things and trading and the like? And genuinely, more broadly, what do I want to do in the game? I don't want it to be just about doing stuff and making money. I want to be doing the things that I enjoy, and I would like to be helping either the broader player base or more specifically the Elite Dangerous and Australia-New Zealand League out. Be a bit more intentional on that front. And maybe the Gutamaya Corsair won't necessarily fit in whatever I decide to do to have a positive impact on the bubble, the colonized space around our blessed planet Earth that humanity has spread out to within the game. And then, do I want to again be buying into that pay-to-win ethos? When I originally was going to be doing this video, I was talking a little bit more about predatory business practices, but I felt I didn't really know enough about them to say anything really definitive, and it felt like I was waffling on for a fair bit. So maybe I just set that aside until I've done a little bit more homework and understanding on that situation, and maybe decide whether or not I do want to vote with my dollars for this particular approach that Frontier Developments have taken to fund Elite Dangerous, keep it in the black, and a thing that makes their company look an attractive fit for investors. So after all that to and fro, where am I at right at the moment? Well, lately I've found myself making a big decision or two in life based on the nice feeling and deciding to set, or maybe not deciding to set thoughtfulness aside, but kind of taking somewhat the easy option and saying, let's see where this goes. And I figure right at the moment, this particular decision gives me the chance to go to do something different than "Ah, well, it's probably not a big deal. It feels good. Let's just see where it goes." And spend a little bit more time being conscious and seeing where the decision to buy into early access might lead me, or what it might lead me away from. Looking at the situation more mindfully, I see a chance to break a pattern that I, in one way or another, have been following for not just the past few years, but maybe for the past couple of decades. And I think I will, rather than let FOMO and the allure of some new shiny gorgeousness that the Gutamaya Corsair certainly is, instead of letting that take the wheel, maybe this time I'll choose to be patient. Will I hold to that decision? Well, let's see how we go come April and in the 3 or so months following. But you know what? Enough about me. I want to hear a little bit from you. Please give us a comment down the bottom. How do you handle these moments when you find your keenness towards something butting up against, well, maybe you just want to do things a little bit more differently going forward? If you're an Elite Dangerous player, have you bought yourself an early access ship before? What made you decide to buy it rather than wait a few more months and get your mitts on a version of it for real in-game currency? And even if you did unlock early access, did you forego getting yourself the Stellar Edition, or even if you didn't, if you decided that the Arcs was worth it for all of the ship kits that it made available for you, did you put your Stellar Edition away in a shipyard somewhere, pay the in-game credits to buy yourself a version that you would then have to build out and pay the rebuy for? I'd also like to hear from perhaps those rare birds out there that were able to earn enough arcs through just in-game activities that you could buy an early access package without actually having to spend a cent or a penny or whatever the smaller version of your local currency happens to be. That I would definitely be curious to hear about. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below, and until you do so, or until the next video, have a good time in the meantime. This is this is Commander Rob Farker, saluting with his left hand so he can give you an 07, and signing off.